Eddie Jones' 3 big takeaways from England vs France Six Nations thriller. Former England head coach Eddie Jones has shared his key observations from the electrifying clash between England national rugby union team and France national rugby union team in the Six Nations Championship. Speaking on the Rugby Unity podcast, Jones broke down the encounter into 3 major themes: England's search for identity under head coach Steve Borthwick, the current form and recovery journey of French superstar Antoine Dupont, and the evolving nature of rugby union in an era increasingly shaped by entertainment and social media. The thrilling contest delivered plenty of talking points, from tactical adjustments and standout individual performances to the broader question of where the modern game is heading. According to Jones, the match revealed both the promise and the uncertainties currently shaping international rugby. England's ongoing search for identity. The first issue that caught Jones' attention was England's continuing struggle to establish a clear identity under Borthwick. While the team has produced flashes of impressive rugby, the former England boss believes the side is still trying to define exactly how it wants to play. Jones acknowledged that Borthwick likely has a clear vision for the team internally. However, from an external perspective, that strategy is not yet obvious. England's identity as a rugby team is still developing, Jones explained. Steve knows the players he wants and the direction he wants to go, but from the outside it's still difficult to see exactly what that identity is. Throughout the tournament, England have displayed contrasting styles of play. In some matches they appeared conservative and methodical, while in others they showed a far more expansive and aggressive attacking approach. The performance against France illustrated this contrast perfectly. Compared to earlier matches in the championship, England looked almost like a completely different team. In their fixtures against Ireland national rugby union team and Scotland national rugby union team, England struggled to impose themselves, often appearing hesitant in attack and lacking fluency. Against France, however, they showed far more ambition with ball in hand and were willing to take greater risks. Jones believes such fluctuations are typical for a team still undergoing a rebuilding phase. Borthwick took over the England job following the departure of Jones after the Rugby World Cup 2023 cycle, and the current head coach has been working to reshape the squad with a mixture of experienced players and emerging talent, but building a consistent international identity takes time. For Jones, the key challenge facing England is ensuring that their playing style becomes recognizable and sustainable. Teams that succeed at the highest level, he explained, are usually those with a clearly defined identity that players understand instinctively. The most successful international sides develop a style that works regardless of opposition, conditions, or venue. Whether that style is built around physical dominance, structured kicking, or free-flowing attack, consistency is essential. England, Jones suggested, are still working toward that clarity. Antoine Dupont's post-injury adaptation. The second major point raised by Jones centered on France's talismanic scrum half, Antoine Dupont, widely regarded as one of the greatest players in modern rugby union. Dupont has set incredibly high standards over the past several seasons. His ability to control matches, create opportunities, and produce moments of individual brilliance has made him a central figure in France's rise. However, Jones believes the French captain is still adapting after recovering from a serious knee injury. Dupont previously suffered an ACL injury, one of the most challenging injuries for elite athletes to overcome. Even after returning to play, many players require significant time to fully regain their confidence, explosiveness, and rhythm. Jones suggested that Dupont may currently be going through this adjustment phase. I still think he's an outstanding player, Jones said. But when you come back from a major ACL injury, you're a slightly different player for a while. You're adapting again. That observation does not diminish Dupont's immense talent. In fact, Jones acknowledged that even a slightly reduced version of the French star remains among the best players in the world. One of Dupont's most remarkable traits is his composure under pressure. Few players in the sport possess the same ability to appear calm and controlled even when surrounded by defenders. Time and again, he manages to create space and opportunities where none seem to exist. Jones pointed out that Dupont often appears to have far more time on the ball than other players in the same position. This perception stems from his extraordinary awareness and decision-making speed. He reads defensive structures quickly and positions himself in ways that allow him to control the tempo of the match. Even if he is currently operating below his peak physical level, his rugby intelligence continues to make him a decisive factor. For most athletes, returning at 80% of their best would be a significant limitation. For Dupont, however, that level still places him among the elite performers in the sport. Jones believes that as Dupont continues to regain full match fitness and confidence, he will likely return to his dominant best, given his importance to France's tactical structure. His full recovery could have a significant impact on the team's future performances. The future direction of rugby union. The third issue raised by Jones moved beyond individual teams and players, focusing instead on the broader direction of the sport itself. The England versus France clash produced a high-scoring spectacle filled with tries, attacking play, and emotional celebrations. For many fans, this type of match represents exactly what rugby should look like: entertaining, fast-paced, and dramatic. But Jones believes it raises an important question about the future balance of the sport. Is this the way rugby is heading? He asked. Lots of tries, big scores, players celebrating. Is that the direction we want? Jones did not frame this question as criticism. Instead, he suggested that the sports administrators must consider how changes in interpretation and presentation are influencing the game. Modern rugby exists in a highly competitive sports entertainment landscape. With social media platforms playing a major role in how highlights and moments are shared, there is growing emphasis on producing visually exciting content. Tries, dramatic celebrations, and high-scoring games naturally generate attention online. Jones acknowledged that this trend is not necessarily negative. In fact, making the sport more appealing to younger audiences could be beneficial. However, he believes it may require adjustments to the way rugby's laws are interpreted and enforced. If this is the direction we're going, Jones explained, then we need to make sure the laws reflect that. Rethinking the yellow card system. As part of this discussion about rugby's future, Jones revealed that he recently spoke with legendary former New Zealand coach Steve Hansen about potential changes to the disciplinary system. Specifically, they discussed the role of the yellow card. In rugby union, a yellow card results in a player being temporarily sent off, leaving their team with one fewer player for 10 minutes. This punishment can have a huge impact on matches, often leading to momentum shifts and decisive scoring periods. Hansen suggested an alternative concept inspired by basketball. Instead of removing a player from the field, the opposing team could be awarded an automatic penalty shot directly in front of the posts for certain types of offenses. This approach would maintain a full 15 versus 15 contest while still imposing a significant punishment. Jones said the idea could help maintain fairness while reducing the disruption caused by temporary dismissals. You keep 15 players on each side, Jones explained. But the team that commits the offense concedes a shot at goal. Such a system would fundamentally change how discipline influences the flow of matches. Supporters of the idea might argue that it preserves the integrity of the contest by keeping teams at full strength. Balancing tradition and entertainment. Rugby union has always faced the challenge of balancing tradition with innovation. On one hand, the sport's history and physical nature are central to its identity. On the other, modern audiences increasingly demand fast-paced, visually engaging competition. Jones' reflections on the England versus France clash highlight how these tensions continue to shape the sport. The thrilling nature of the match demonstrated rugby's ability to produce unforgettable moments. But it also prompted questions about how the game might evolve in response to changing expectations. Jones' comments suggest that the next stage of evolution may involve rethinking how penalties and disciplinary measures influence matches.